Hello guys, my name is Shadow Cinema, also known as Michael, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to take a minute to, talk about Star Wars. Star Wars is probably in my top 3 for favorite film franchises of all time, and intellectual properties. And ever since the beginning of the sequel trilogy, I felt like, I have a lot to share now that it's over. And I just want to, address something before we get started here, and that is that I love Star Wars, and I'm very opinionated about Star Wars, and I'm going to take everyone's opinion into account, but I just want to share my own today. And, I love the sequel trilogy because I have a lot of memories around the sequel. Back in 2015, I saw the Force Awakens with my friend, and both The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker I saw with my sister and my future brother-in-law, and the memories around seeing those movies are very important to me, and I don't want to have them cloud my judgment, but I really do want to let you guys know that I love aspects of the sequel trilogy, and I will explain them throughout this video, but I'm going to start off with, the side that is more important to me, and that is that the sequel trilogy of Star Wars is flawed. It is significantly flawed, and I think there's 3 things that flaw the sequel trilogy, and I'm going to talk today about the good things and the bad things, and what Star Wars can do, or Lucasfilm, going forward that will improve Star Wars as a brand and as a global phenomenon. Number 1, I think is very important, is that you focus on planning ahead. Planning ahead is important. Look to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is, also under the Disney family, and they plan 5 years ahead, guys. I mean, Marvel is master storytellers, and I think that planning ahead and taking risks is very important for Star Wars, because look at the sequel trilogy. J.J. Abrams, along with Kathleen Kennedy and everyone at Lucasfilm, obviously did not know what they were doing, going into the trilogy, which was dangerous. I think that it was, very foolish of them to not say, okay, this is our 1, 2, 3, this is our trilogy here, this is our plan, let's go. And going into The Force Awakens, and then, after that movie was made, JJ being like, okay, here you go, Rian Johnson, do whatever you want. That was foolish. That was stupid. And I think that was bad decision-making on the part of Kathleen Kennedy, because obviously she called those shots. And I think that you need to plan ahead, because, the disconnection, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker is so apparent that it is mind-blowing. If you watch those movies consecutively, you could just see there was no plan going into this. So, that's number 1. Number 2 is don't listen too much to one side of the fan base. Find a middle ground to operate in. And there's 2 sides to the Star Wars fan base, and I'm going to explain them right now. The first side of Star Wars is people who grew up with the prequel trilogy, who think George should have been in charge of everything, who think that The Phantom Menace is a masterpiece, and that everything the prequel trilogy did is gospel. The other side of Star Wars is the new fans who want to politicize Star Wars, especially with identity politics, which, in this video, I was originally considering making its own topic, because it's plagued Star Wars. It really has. And I'm going to tell you right now, personally, I love the prequel trilogy better than all 3 of them. And it's important that you understand that I'm not biased towards it, but it is my preference. And politics in Star Wars has destroyed it, okay? This is a fact. This is just a fact. You look at the box office, and it is increasingly getting worse as time goes on. And you look at Kathleen Kennedy and her political opinions, and just the general vibe at Lucasfilm, and you see they're putting it before storytelling, which is the most dangerous thing you can do. Okay, you have Hollywood producers, particularly Jason Blum going on a Ben Shapiro show and explaining the liberal bias in Hollywood and how it's affecting cinema. And to me, I have no tolerance for that, okay? There's nothing wrong with showing diversity in movies. I actually, support it and embrace that as a thing that should be done, but it's dangerous when you put it before storytelling. It's very dangerous, and particularly seen in The Last Jedi. That movie was made with a goal in mind, and it was wrong. So you need to put storytelling over identity politics 100% of the time. Very important. So now that we got the flaws out of the way, I wanted to take the time to explain to you what I like about the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. And first off is the visuals. And you're probably like, oh, Shadow, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. The visuals, of course they're nice. Well, they're nice. Some of the nicest visuals I've ever seen in a film. I actually go online to look up a movie I don't like, which is Star Wars The Last Jedi from 2017, to watch the Salt Mine third act, at least once every 2 weeks, because I absolutely adore the visuals. Another thing that I really appreciate them doing is sticking to the puppets. That's something that's, great job, Lucasfilm. That's great. Whoever is in charge of the prop department or whatever, character costume design, good job. And, another thing that I really like about the sequel trilogy is just how it continues the generational storytelling. I love how it follows up with Kylo Ren, which is Ben Solo, as you know, Han Solo's and Leia's son, and the conflict between him and Luke, and how it's affected this entire, universe. That is a very interesting thing to explore, and if it was done correctly with planning, I think we would have been looking back on that for years. Maybe even decades, because if it was done right, and I'm telling you, Adam Driver carried this entire trilogy. He did. And if you don't know who Adam Driver is, it's, Kylo Ren. The trilogy, guys, come on. And, another thing that I really appreciate about the sequel trilogy is its attempt to, pay homage to George. You're not bringing Jordan on the sequel trilogy. It's upsetting. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people overreact to it. But the attempts made, especially by JJ, it's heartwarming because, it's George's creation. And I think it should be honored. And I appreciate what they tried to do, but it couldn't be done because The Rise of Skywalker was a mess. And it was a mess because JJ was tasked with undoing The Rise of Skywalker, which, needed to be done because that movie was terrible, but, ultimately, those are my thoughts on the sequel trilogy of Star Wars and what they need to do going forward, because it's very important. And, if you guys have any opinions, you want to share them down in the comment section below, that's cool. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But, I'd like to know. I am curious. And, I hope everyone's having a good time at home, amidst this pandemic, and I hope everyone's hanging in there. But, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like if you liked the video, and I'll see you all in the next video.